All right, thank you so much for your patience, everyone. I am Doris Shadu, the Interim Marketing, Communications, and Public Relations Director. And Michelle?
I'm Michelle Schock. I am your media manager and graphic designer here at the college. Hi, everybody.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us today. We are absolutely super excited to talk to you about one of our favorite subjects in the marketing team, which is branding. Now, as you know, we officially transitioned from Thomas Nelson Community College to Virginia Peninsula Community College back in July of this year. Now with the new name comes a new opportunity to update our branding, as well as some of our other sister colleges have done as well. When you think of branding, you think of it as an overall identity for the college. It's how we establish a relationship with our community visually. We do this through messaging, colors, symbols, and taglines. The process to change the name has been open and transparent, and we do appreciate all of your feedback, and we want this process for branding to be exactly the same way. We appreciate those of you who have taken the last survey that we put out. We've heard many different opinions, and we want to make sure everyone has a chance to weigh in. In an effort to address some of your concerns, we have come up with a few new options for you to consider before we make a final decision about our branding. And Michelle goes to the next slide. Before we get to those new options, we want to talk about what has not changed. And I won't read it, in full in its entirety. You all see it on the screen there. Our mission statement, our vision statement, and of course, our strategic plan remains the same, and our mission to help students succeed. Of course, we're still focused on diversity, equity and inclusion, instructional innovation, powerful partnerships, modernized marketing and recruitment, employee investment and development, and transparent and authentic communication, which explains why we're here today. And before we get started to show you those new options, I want to go through a quick timeline so that you kind of see how we arrived where we are today. The information here is based on the feedback that we collected from Consociate Media, which is an outside vendor we work with for our branding. The Name Change Implementation Committee, the Logo Name Change Recommendations Committee, and survey data gleaned from current students, faculty, staff, alumni, and the general college community. And of course, that's you all who helped us shape the survey. We have determined our font, typeface, mascot, and colors based on the feedback from that data. The Name Change Implementation Committee, and the Logo Branding Recommendation Committee as well. And according to what you said, what should be kept? We asked what should be changed. What do we want to be known for? You said you wanted to keep the fonts, the colors, and the mascot, our beloved Gator. We wanted to update the tagline and seal at a later time. We wanted to implement a temporary text-based image, which you have seen all over campus and a lot of our digital channels. A placeholder that will be made available for use. Well, it was started July 1 of this year. And we also, like Cindy did mention, we did take on this rebrand internally. And this has been happening all year long. And we also gave some of our colleagues a little homework. What do you want people to say about Virginia Peninsula Community College? And we'll show you a nice word cloud that puts together all of your responses. And also, what did you want the name, brand to recommend? The Office for Institutional Research and Effectiveness and Institutional Advancement survey results follow this page. And we'll go to the next one, Michelle.
All right. So as we already mentioned, through the surveys and just feedback from our college and the community, we decided to keep our font, our colors, and our mascot. You can see here we have our Virginia Peninsula Community College placeholder, and below that our fonts and our colors. This guy right here, this guy in the bottom right-hand corner, our Fierce Gator, I want to let everybody know this is our athletic mascot. This is what our athletes and our sports teams and SGA use. You will notice and see other gators on campus. What I refer to as a water gator, the Fierce Gator, the baby gator. We're maybe even thinking about calling him our hatchling, our imprint gator. What I would want you to know is that we use this gator for our brand recognition, and we're not going to use the same one all the time, but we will have some files or folders with gators that people across the campus can use. It's important that we use, icons to brand for recognition. Right, here is the word art. that we talked about previously. What do we want people to say about the college? And then everyone can see here, you know, we're talking about community, we're talking about education, workforce, partnerships, etc. Here's a little bit of information on suggestions and feedback from our surveys. Doris?
Sorry, Michelle. All right, so taken from the previous survey, we got lots of really interesting feedback. And some of you told us, you know, what do you want people to say about Virginia Peninsula Community College? Here are a couple. That is a real college with real and useful programs and majors. There's so many ways to start at this school, and it is accepting of people of all ages and backgrounds. The staff cares and wants to see you continue your education, even if it isn't at VPCC, although we hope it would be. That it is an inclusive place for higher education, that it is an acceptable community college with outstanding professors. We absolutely agree. It is where champions study and advance excellence and success in all that we do. I want people to say that Virginia Peninsula is more than just a community college. I want them to think of it as somewhere for student growth and to be excited about the future. Employers and workers know they can rely on VPCC for relevant training. VPCC really cares about Peninsula families and businesses. The college is a reliable partner offering opportunities for success in community and economic development. And finally, we are a place that offers high quality, affordable education, that we are student oriented, and that we are a diverse and comfortable atmosphere. All statements we 100% agree with.
All right, so here it comes.
And from that wonderful feedback that you gave us, we came up with taglines to kind of help represent what you said. Education that inspires. Your future starts here. Our mission, your success, and opportunity awaits.
Okay. Next, we're going to talk about our seal. So some of the suggestion and feedback we got on the seal were here. Do we need a seal was asked. And the answer to that is officially we don't have to have a seal, but the college has decided and determined it does want to continue with the seal. We use the seal on all of our official documents, and I'm sure you've seen it at our commencement, on our banners, etc. Someone else asked the question, maybe that the map, maybe it could be a map of the peninsula included in our seal. And we did do a preliminary one that most folks weren't a real big fan of. On the next page, when we show you the seals, you'll see we've altered it a little bit. I think it looks much better. And then also we got the input to change the icon to something that represents education. So on the next page, we're going to have the options that's going to be shared with you for our seal. So here are our seals. Option number 1, of course, the outer workings, our service areas, the Virginia Peninsula Community College and Success per Education is included in all. The only thing that's changed is what's in the middle in the name. So number 1, as you see, all of them do include our 1967, the founding and or opening of the college. Number 1 is a column. Of course, you know, that's representation. It's an ionic column. It represents strength, the foundation, education. Number 2, seal, is a globe. It's meant to represent, you know, knowledge, education, worldly. And actually the same with number 3, if you come on down. Again, another globe, a little different, but it's worldly, books. It's about training and knowledge. And then number 4, this is our Virginia Peninsula pulled out of the Virginia map. So these are the 4 options that are going to be on the survey we'd like you to complete to help us choose which of the seals the college will adopt. So now we're going to move on and talk a little about logos. Right up here at the top, you see we have our old abstract graphic, which for some people represented the sculpture and or crossroads. And right below it, we have, again, examples of some different kind of logo types: abstract, mascot, combination, emblem, letter mark, pictorial, and word marks. Most logos are usually a combination of those. On the following pages, I'm going to share with you the logos that we came up with based on your recommendations. All right, so some of the feedback that we got from the surveys, we had folks asking if we could include a peninsula theme, waves or beaches. someone asked if we could change the icon, but keep the font. Change it to something less abstract. Someone also commented that keeping the current design and branding colors and other elements would be helpful in our previous brand recognition. I agree. So by holding on to some of those past brand icons, colors, fonts, we are keeping our brand recognition in our community, and that's very important. And then I'm assuming this was from a student. It says, thank you for encouraging student input in our rebranding decisions. And I say absolutely to that. We want the students to have input. We want faculty, staff, and our community all to have input into this. From the logos that we're going to provide in the following pages, please note there's no wrong choice. Okay, like art, there's a matter of taste, personal style. Okay, it is whether we and how we embrace the brand and interact with our customer that drives our brand as much as the graphic. Okay, it is very important we accept and support our brand and our mission at Virginia Peninsula Community College, which is, as we mentioned or showed you earlier in the slide, we change lives and transform our community through diverse, inclusive, and equitable education and workforce training, excellent support, and services and innovative partnerships. I'd also like to add that the logos on the following pages, I'm going to offer you one horizontal and one vertical option. Okay, when these are finalized, there will be one vertical and one horizontal option. Also, what you're going to see is some variations of colors in the logos that we're representing. But again, once one logo is determined, all color, all orientation, and file types will be created and shared. And then that means, so we're keeping our colors, our green and our green and our purple, but there will be green logos and there will be grayscale logos, etc. A couple other items I'd like to add about a logo is we really want this to be easily read. We want it to transfer well from print to digital media. Okay, it's very important. All right, so here's option number one. Before we get into the kind of the breakdown on number one, I want to add a couple other points here. As you see on the left, we have the entire VCCS Community College logos represented here. Okay, if you notice here, there were lots of water, a lot of birds, a lot of mountains and things like that. So we kind of, I don't want to say we didn't steer from them entirely, but we didn't want to fall into looking just like any of the other community colleges. We did want our logo to represent us and you know, not be the same. We wanted something that, you know, stood out as our own. So here we go, option number one. This is a representation of a bridge. It's rising, it's upward mobility, it's steps. That applies to training, credit, development courses. Again, you see we've got the options in green and purple and just purple, and there will be other options as well, and as far as color goes. So this is option number one. I'm calling it the bridge option. Okay. Here we go, option number two. This is initials. If you can see it, it's VP, but they're abstract, but not abstract. I think it's a very simple and clean design. I think it looks well on any of the colors. I also think, well, it would look fine pulled out of the circle and just being the VP on its own. Okay. For me as well, this looks like a classic design, and in my eye, I can almost see a little gator eye right there in the middle of that circle. So this is option number two. All right, number three. In our feedback, it was suggested that maybe we use initials and be less abstract. And so that's what I went here. I went very simple. I'm sure you've seen maybe other initials in a similar type layout. Yep, I'm sure it's been seen. But these are our initials and our brand. It's very effective, and there is no mistaking that we are VPCC with this logo. So there you go. We have 4 tagline options, 4 seal options, and 3 logo options.
Thank you so much, Michelle. And finally, here are our next steps, and this involves you. We're going to choose the final seal, logo, graphic, and tagline. The survey is available right after, actually it's available now. So if you want to go and weigh in, let us know your thoughts, pick which ones, which ones you like the best. We're going to take all this data to our college leadership. Then I'm going to present the final brand recommendation to our college board at the end of October. Then begins the final approval process. And then hopefully, we're hoping by the end of the year at least, we'll begin full logo implementation. That includes some of the same things we did during the summer for the placeholder logo. We'll be doing, updating and sharing files internally, letterhead, business cards, things you put on your flyers, graphics, things of that nature. And please note that any signage, form, promotional items, digital marketing bearing the placeholder is still valid because we're still going to use the same wording. We're just going to add the graphic image to it, and we'll use all items and change to the full logo as necessary. Then we're also thinking about trademarking the logo that is chosen, and of course, updating our current style guide. And with that, we'll open up the floor to questions. And thank you all again. Thank you so much for taking time. I know everyone's busy, but we really do appreciate your time and joining us today for this very important topic.
And thank you, Doris. And I would just like to add too that, I do want you to know that we read the surveys and we took your recommendation and your feedback and I try to incorporate those. And we try to incorporate those into the tagline, to the seals, and into our logos. So just know that you were heard, and we hope we have something here that we can all get behind. Thank you.
Any questions? I'll leave it open for a few moments. I see we still had a few folks joining us.
I got a question.
Sure.
Is there any consideration of using QR codes on the new business cards when they come out?
Not at all. Actually, that is, if that is what you prefer, Michelle is designing some of those, but QR codes are becoming a lot more popular these days. So you'll actually see them on you'll see them on signage around campus and some of our collateral as well. So no, I mean, I'm personally not opposed to that. I've seen that a lot of companies do that. Michelle, did you have any?
Yeah, no, generally now I haven't really considered them, going on the business card. But that being said, I do already have some cards designed. I call them contact cards, which are business card size. And they have QR codes, different places on our website, like the contact one I'm talking about takes folks right to our contact page. And it has the website. So, you can type it in and it has the QR code.
Mhm.
I can tell you this, that I've always been a fan of QR codes, and they're especially effective for a captive audience. And so what I mean is, for example, if we send things out in an email, generally we'll use a link, right? But if we send a postcard out, or if we send an image out, we generally do use a QR code. So thank you for your question. QR codes are great.
Absolutely. And one more quick thing about that, and that allows you, because of course we live in the, less is more age when it comes to text on paper documents. And that gives you, and if you're going to a web page, as opposed to just trying to cram everything on a card, absolutely, that gives you more leeway to put more information, and then we can link people to wherever you want them to go on the website. So driving, of course, the marketing department, one of the things that we do, our biggest goal is driving as much traffic to that website as possible. So thank you for your question. Any other questions, suggestions?
Doris, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
This is Joe Fuentes. Hey, two things. I think it was you that I asked about. I guess we're talking about the tagline. Is the tagline presently success is closer than you think?
It is, yes, sir.
So I guess what you're saying is these four choices that are presented are going to override or supersede that one?
Yes.
Hearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the survey, how do we get to the survey?
It's on the same page. It's vpcc.edu/branding townhall. If you click on it now, you see it should be updated for you. And the survey link is there. It'll be nice and bold there. If you click on it, let me know if you see it. It's right under.
Should we throw a link in the chat? Can we throw a link in the chat?
Sure, I sure can. Yes.
I'm not sure what you're looking at.
Okay, I'll put it in the chat for you. There we go. And then I just put the link to the survey there. Can you see it?
I see, yeah, I'm trying, there it is. I got the,
Okay. Okay.
and, all right, well, I was just curious what was wrong. I ended up, when you told me what the tagline was before, because I had never heard it before, I actually thought that was a really good one, but the success, we're closer than I thought that was good, but I'll take a look at these 4.
Thank you. And so, yeah, it had been around for a while, but it just didn't
I just
stick.
don't think it was being used.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. It had been on, it's in some of our branding options, but as we got closer to the new brand, it just wasn't sticking. These
Yeah, it
words.
wasn't of the
Yeah.
choices. It just wasn't one of the top choices.
wasn't,
That's
yeah.
kind of how it happened. Yeah.
Right. And it was included in the options as well.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Take us back to Happy Cat.
And if there aren't any other questions, anyone else, I want to make sure everyone has an opportunity to ask questions.
Well, I will just add, and as I'm sure you know, that the survey that's been shared, the images are there. Some of that information, the questions or statements about the logo and whatnot are there as well. So you should be able to go right to the survey and, look at the options and make your decisions.
And I see Jason Vance had I'm sorry, Michelle, go ahead.
Yeah, and also there is an open-ended question, I believe, in that survey. So if you had
There it is.
comments or concerns or questions or whatever, you can pop them in there. We will definitely address them and read them. I can promise you that.
Absolutely. We do enjoy reading all of your feedback. That gives us insight as a marketing team, not even beyond branding, kind of what you all think that helps us with campaigns and all different kinds of things as well. So we do appreciate and we really take seriously what you guys say. You are indeed many of the experts we rely on for other information too. I see Jason Vance had a question on the status of the current block logo. And Jason, I'm assuming you're talking about our purple abstract logo. Let me see. Okay, so it hasn't gone anywhere yet. that is indeed why we're doing the survey and getting your feedback on that, so that we can decide if that's something that you all want to do. Because we did take into account what you said in the previous survey, but we did want to make sure everyone was heard and everyone had an opportunity to voice their opinions. But it's kind of, could say, on the shelf right now, but it's not totally gone away just yet. Thank you, Paul. We appreciate your kind words. Yes, right now, because we already made that, yes, to answer your question, you said it's not a choice on the survey. We did actually include that the last time. So this is just to give you new options, because some people chose that logo. Then we had a lot of other people who wanted other options. So this was an effort for us to make sure everyone had an opportunity to weigh in on a new option as well.
I would suggest anyone who has a preference for the block logo that we have, that you could certainly add that in the open-ended question on the survey, that you would prefer that. But overall, the feedback we did receive from the first survey was that logo, which is a representation of the statue on our campus, was not generally known what it represented on our campus, and was very abstract. But if that is your preference, you can certainly make that in the comments to the survey.
Okay, someone else had a good comment. I believe pictorial mark makes the most sense. Images are easily identifiable as well as searchable. All right, one more minute. Any other questions, everyone?
No, I agree. Pictorial marks are great. It's like a smell. They say, smell bring up memories. Visuals bring up memories, feel, touch, etc. If we can grab hold of a pictorial image and make it our own, it will precede us, and that's exactly what we kind of want it to do.
Well, there's another comment, Michelle. Pictorial marks are not color specific.
Well, they are and they aren't color specific. And what I mean is you're going to have options of colors. There'll be purple, there'll be green, there'll be grayscale, there'll be horizontal, there'll be a horizontal, there'll be a vertical. So, until a final logo was selected, I didn't want to, have to make 20 color, options, to show. I thought it might be confusing. I thought it best to, offer some, different color options there, but no, there's going to be green and purple. There'll be one purple, there'll be one green, etc. I know I keep repeating the same thing, but shapes. Shapes is what I'm getting at. Do you mean shapes as far as whether it's in a circle, a square, or just an abstract shape on its own?
The example given was the Apple logo.
Right, the pictorial, right. And so you're asking what kind of logo do we have? It's a combination. And it also depends on which one we select as well, if that's the question. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be a combination. It can be one or the other. It's really about brand recognition and how we push it and what we put forward.
And we also need to come up with a new name for it as well.
A new name for the actual graphic portion of the logo?
Yes, ma'am. Because right now it's called TN at 10. So.
I'm sorry, you said it's called. I'm sorry, sir. Lou, you're on.
There I am. It's called TN at 10, from what I understand. That's the name of the sculpture that was welded together. So I'm just, if
Gotcha.
we continue to use it, and I think that's a great idea, because it is a kind of a throwback a bit, but we'll need to come up with another different name, I think.
And that's great. And, we definitely appreciate that, Mr. Silverman. This is one of the things we were discussing as we were looking at some of the feedback. And I said it was kind of, it was so varied in the responses, which is really great. I love the discussion, and one of the things to think about is, we have this new name. We're moving into a new era as a community college. And of course, we want to speak to a new generation. That doesn't mean that we take anything away from, Thomas Nelson, but that's who we've been known as for a very long time. So, we definitely want to, with the new name, think about some new options as well, and creating the same fond memories that students and alums had with the old, the older logo. They have the opportunity to adopt something of their own as well. So it's definitely something to take into consideration. All right, if there are any other questions, again, if you guys can go to, it's the same link that you clicked on to get to the link here to the meeting, but I also put the link to the survey if you want to go ahead and weigh in and take the survey today. It will be open until October 12th, close of business. So please, weigh in, let us know what you think. Again, we really, really appreciate your time today, and we look forward to talking to you the next time. Thanks again, guys.
Hi. And just to add, I threw the link at the bottom of the chat again, so you can copy and paste it right now. Please, please, please take the survey. Please, we want your feedback. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Doris, can we also post the recording from the town hall onto the website landing page as well?
Yes, and actually I'm glad you said that, Cindy. There is actually a kind of a pre-recording for those who didn't have a chance. So it's similar information about the logos, but we will replace it. It just may take us a minute to download, but there is a recording there for those who might have missed it. We're going to send that out to everyone, and then we'll put the new recording once it's ready to go on the page.
Thank you, everyone. We look forward to hearing from you. This is really important stuff. And I know our college board wants to know that we had good representation and got good responses to the survey. So we look forward to receiving that. Take care.